Whispers in the kitchen. Thandiwe Mthembu had always said that Johannesburg never slept, but on that spring Thursday, the city felt unusually quiet. The jacaranda trees along Oxford Road were in full purple bloom, scattering petals like confetti across the windscreen of her silver VW Polo as she drove home early from the office. At 39, Thandiwe was finally tasting the fruits of 15 years of grinding. Senior legal counsel at a top mining firm. The promotion had come that morning, unexpected, generous, life-changing. A 55% salary bump, corner office, company car upgrade. She'd stared at the official letter for a full minute before the tears came. She wanted to tell her husband, Sipho. They'd been married 14 years. 2 children, Luandle, 12, and Naledi, 9. A 4-bedroom house in Sandton they'd bought when things were good. Sipho ran a logistics company, decent money, but lately contracts had dried up. He'd been stressed, distant, coming home late with the smell of whiskey and strangers' perfume. Thandiwe told herself it was the economy. She told herself a lot of things. Today, she'd surprise him. She'd pretend something awful had happened, retrenchment maybe, watch his reaction, then reveal the promotion and watch his face light up. It would be their little joke, a reminder that they were still a team. She parked quietly in the driveway. The kids were at aftercare until 6. Sipho's black BMW was there, early for him. Good. She slipped off her heels at the door, padded inside in stockinged feet. The house smelled of fresh coffee and something floral, perfume, not hers. Voices in the kitchen, Sipho's low rumble, a woman's laugh, young, throaty, intimate. Thandiwe froze in the hallway, heart suddenly loud in her ears. She edged closer, staying behind the archway where the shadows were thick. "She has no idea," Sipho was saying. 14 years, and she still believes I'm in love with her. That fool thinks the world of me. The woman giggled. "You're cruel, baby." "I'm honest. That farm in Mpumalanga, her grandmother's, 120 hectares, prime agricultural land with water rights. When the old lady dies, and she's 86, it won't be long, the title passes to Thandiwe. As husband, I get half under community of property. We sell, cash out, disappear. Dubai, Maldives, wherever." Thandiwe's knees went weak. She gripped the wall. The farm, her grandmother's pride. Gogo had refused every developer who came knocking. "That soil fed your mother through the struggle," she'd say. "It will feed your children's children." The woman again. "And if Gogo lingers, 100 years old?" Sipho's voice dropped. "Then we speed things up. My contact at the private clinic in Sandton, small doses in her tea, heart failure, natural causes. Everyone says she was old. Thandiwe will be broken. I'll comfort her while quietly pushing for the sale. She'll sign anything when she's grieving." The woman laughed again, sharp, delighted. "You're a monster!" "Smart monster. Once the money hits, we're gone. No more pretending to love a woman who thinks she's better than me because she has a fancy title and a law degree." Thandiwe tasted blood. She'd bitten her lip. She backed away silently, slipped out the front door, got into her car, and drove, blindly. She ended up at the Rosebank rooftop parking lot, staring at the city skyline as the sun dipped low, painting everything gold and indifferent. Then she called Lindiwe, her best friend from university, now a detective in the Hawks. "Lindy," she whispered when her friend answered, "I need you now." They met at a quiet coffee shop in Melville. Thandiwe told her everything, the promotion, the stupid prank idea, the overheard conversation, the poison plot. Lindiwe listened, face hardening. "We go to Gogo first, then we build a case." They drove to Soweto that evening. Gogo's small house in Orlando West was lit warmly. The old woman opened the door in her housecoat, eyes sharp despite her age. "Thandiwe? So late?" Thandiwe broke. She told her grandmother everything. Gogo listened without interruption. When Thandiwe finished, the old woman sighed deeply. "I never trusted him," she said quietly. "He smiled too wide, eyes too cold. But you loved him. I kept quiet for you. I'm sorry, Gogo."
You apologize for nothing. You are the daughter of warriors. Now we fight. That night, they called the family lawyer, then a private doctor. Gogo agreed to blood tests, baseline toxicology, just in case. The next day, Thandiwe returned home. Sipho was in the lounge, pacing, phone in hand. "Where were you? All night. Kids asking questions?" Thandiwe stood in the doorway, calm as still water. "I went to see Gogo," she said. "She's having tests, because of the tea you bring her every Sunday." Sipho laughed, short, forced. "What nonsense is this? I heard you, yesterday, in the kitchen, everything. The farm, the poison, the smart monster." His face changed, the mask cracked. "You're delusional." "I recorded this," she lifted her phone. Bluff, but his eyes widened. "You can't prove." "I already have a statement from Gogo. She heard you on the phone last month, same words. Old people die easy. The doctor is running toxicology. If anything shows up, it's attempted murder. You know how the courts treat elder abuse now." Sipho stepped forward. "Give me the phone." A figure appeared behind him. Thandiwe, in plain clothes, badge visible. 2 officers at the door. "Don't," Thandiwe said. Sipho froze, looked around like a trapped animal. Thandiwe spoke softly. "I got promoted yesterday. Senior legal counsel. Big raise, company car. I can pay the bond. I can buy you out. I don't need you anymore." Sipho's mouth worked. 14 years, Thandiwe. We have children. You have children. I have children. You have plans to orphan them by killing their great-grandmother." She walked past him to the bedroom, packed essentials, documents, clothes, laptop, Gogo's beaded bracelet from her 21st birthday, the kids' birth certificates. Sipho watched from the doorway. "You're throwing everything away. You threw it away the day you decided my grandmother's life was currency." She took their wedding photo from the wall, tore it down the middle, let the pieces flutter to the floor. At the door, she paused. "Yesterday, on the phone, when I pretended I'd lost my job, you said, 'Good, about time. Now you'll see how the real world works.'" She met his eyes. "Well, I'm unemployed now, just like you wanted." A long silence. "You'll have to cover the bond yourself." She walked out. Thandiwe waited in the car, didn't speak, just drove. They went to Soweto. Gogo was waiting with tea, real tea, no poison. The children ran to Thandiwe, hugging her legs. Later, when the kids were asleep, Gogo took Thandiwe's hand. "You were always the strong one," she said, "even when you didn't know it." Thandiwe looked at the ceiling, tears silent. "I thought love was enough." "Love is enough," Gogo replied, "but love without truth is just a pretty cage." The toxicology came back clean. Sipho hadn't started yet, but the recorded conversation, Thandiwe had turned it on during the confrontation, and Gogo's statement were enough for a restraining order. The divorce papers were filed the next week. Sipho fought the bond, the custody, everything. He lost. Thandiwe's new salary and the firm's legal support made sure of it. Months later, Thandiwe stood on the balcony of her new apartment in Maboneng, smaller but hers. The city sparkled below, alive and unforgiving. She thought of the kitchen, the whispers, the moment the world cracked open, and she smiled, small, fierce, free. Because sometimes the worst thing you overhear is the best thing that ever happened to you.